Hello everyone. A bit under 2 weeks ago I decided to order a Zenitco B-9AK Gooseneck rail platform, and I noticed when I was deciding if I wanted to buy it or not that there's very little information on it that I could find on YouTube. I wanted to know kind of the measurements and how much space it would take up on the rail and how much space I would have to put a light on it, but I couldn't find anything like that, so I decided I'd make another video on this and show a lot of that kind of stuff off. So, getting started, I ordered this through Ivan Tactical this time around. I didn't order this through Outpost Armories like I did with the last video I did on this handguard, because they actually don't have it, and it looks like Outpost Armories is no longer selling Zenitco products. It came with this cool magnet, a sticker, and a thank you note, which is always cool. And then I also ordered a Sturm compensator, or a muzzle brake actually, which I think I'll probably do a separate video on this, but that might be a little bit of a ways out. When I originally got this handguard, I wanted to put a light onto it, but I found that no matter where I put it, it was very uncomfortable. I wasn't able to grip the rifle normally, and the light would always get in the way of my grip. So that is why I decided to get this, because this should push the light out of the way. That way I can get a normal grip on the rifle. With this B9, however, it's going to put the light up here, and that will be nice and out of the way of my hand, no matter what kind of grip I have on the rifle. So as I mentioned earlier, this is a B-9AK. Zenitco also offers a B-9M. The only difference is that it has this little opening back here. Apparently this is for compatibility with the new Zenitco plugs, this opening. But I wanted to get this B-9AK because even though I do not have any Zenitco lights or any of their lasers, I think this would be useful because I do have a pressure switch, which I do not currently have installed, but it can go onto this light that I have here. So my thought process was I would be able to thread it through here and make it kind of more snug on the gun so it can't get snagged on anything. So before I do install this, I do want to take some measurements. That way, hopefully, if any of you are considering getting one of these, you'll have a bit more information going into it. So I'm going to be taking all my measurements in centimeters, but I will put the inch conversions up on the screen after the fact. I'll edit them in. So getting started, one of the measurements I did take off camera is the weight of this. And according to Zenitco on this sheet here, it is supposed to be 48 plus or minus 5 grams. And when I took its weight, it was 48 exactly. So very, very light. And now the first measurement I want to actually take is, so we can see we've got 4 actual Picatinny rails here, but one thing I was concerned about before I was buying this is, while I'll be able to mount a light here onto these rails, I was concerned if it's going to bump up against the platform, the part of the platform here that actually attaches to the handguard. So I'm going to find out the total length of this part. I will find out the total length of the platform part that actually hooks onto the rail, and then I will get this installed. So getting started with the actual railed portion that you'd put the light onto, we have got, and this is at a bit of an angle, so a bit hard to measure, but it looks like so I'm going to be measuring right to the point here where it starts to bend upwards. And we got, I'm going to say about 6.5 centimeters is what it looks like. It's a little bit more than that, but I'm just kind of rounding it to a good number there. And then the actual platform part. So this takes up 2 actual Picatinny rail slots. I'll show that later when I actually install it. But this whole part here, I'm going to find out how long that is, because of course this does extend longer, not by much, but just a little bit over, so it doesn't just take up the length of 2 Picatinny rails, of course. Just a tiny bit more than that. And for this, we have, I'll probably try to measure this the length of what will actually sit on the handguard itself. So that would be just pretty much from here, from the end here to right here. And we have 5 centimeters here. Rounding a little bit, it looks like it's slightly under that, but again, getting it to a good whole number. So now I'm going to actually install this. This installs with 2 flathead screws here. So this whole section right here just comes off, and then I can slide this on here. Then I screw this back on, and then it locks together onto the rail. So it just comes apart like that. So I'm going to mount this as far forward as possible. On a little bit of a side note, apparently this is supposed to be able to fit bipods too. I believe it said that on Ivan Tactical's site when I was looking at buying this. We'll see how tightly it actually secures up. So actually I mentioned this uses 2 Picatinny slots previously, but it does lock into 2, but it actually takes up 3. It is hard to see on camera, so let me get a flashlight on here. But you can see that it takes up the front Picatinny right here, takes up the back one, and then there's just a third one in the middle that's skipped. So this does actually take up 3 rails. I misspoke earlier. But anyway, getting back on with the installation, I've just got to take this and lay it back onto here the correct way around. I'm just going to get these hand tightened, and then I'll tighten them down all the rest of the way once they're started with the screwdriver I had on here earlier. Apparently these screws had a bit of oil on them, which I did not notice until now. So that seems really tightly on there. Doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. And I have 3 flashlights I'm going to test on here. This is just a UTG flashlight that keeps popping up in all my videos because it's an easy one to just pull out because I don't have it mounted on anything ever. I have a Fenix flashlight here in a Fenix mount. I normally keep this flashlight on my belt, so I'm probably not going to keep that one on there. But in my opinion, it is the best flashlight that I currently own. And then I also have a little Streamlight here that is nice and compact, but I don't really use it because it's a bit too dim for my tastes. So we'll just get started with this one since it's what I have in my hands. Unsurprisingly, this one does fit very easily. You could even mount this further back. The Fenix light also fits really well onto here. And lastly, this UTG also fits pretty well onto here as well. I just need to actually loosen this up so it can clamp all the way down because it's a little bit too tight, but that's this UTG flashlights. That's just because of this. So I just have to loosen that and that'll be fine. So I'm going to get that loosened up. I will be right back. Okay, so I have gotten this installed off camera, tightened down, well, loosened up first and then tightened down perfectly so I can still quickly detach this and it's not wiggling around anymore. And I was messing around a bit with the grip testing this. I noticed when I'm holding the rifle normally, when I do, this does not interfere with the grip mostly. I noticed with how I grip it, my finger kind of bumps up against this part at the back of the B-9, but very, very minor. It is absolutely out of the way, and it's definitely an improvement over having to somehow like fit my hand around the light when it's fitted here or where this B-9 is now mounted, or on the other side of the rail. So this is really good. One thing I noticed, I did try to test this with a pressure switch, and I tried threading it through here, and I found out it's not actually going to fit, which is alright, because I'm not actually going to use the pressure switch because I didn't find it really to be comfortable. But that is something to keep in mind is, let's see if I can get this shown a bit better. The opening in the back of this B-9AK that I was mentioning is very, very tight. It's extremely hard to see here. That angled is pretty well there. But yeah, you're not really able to fit a cable through it. You might be able to if you try really hard, but It doesn't seem to be actually made for that. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this informative. If you have any other questions you want me to answer about it, let me know in the comments. And thanks for any comments at all. I know on the other videos I got quite a few. I don't always respond to statement comments, like pretty much if it's not a question, I tend not to respond to it. But I do read them all and I appreciate them all greatly. So thanks for those, and thank you for watching. I will see you all next time.